Hello there and a very warm welcome to this special broadcast. In a video posted on his Twitter account, MK Stalin yesterday had said that right from the day of assuming office, Prime Minister Modi-led BJP has been attempting to destroy and decimate the unity of the nation. Listen in.
இந்திய நாட்டின் ஒற்றுமையை சீர்குலைக்கும் முயற்சிகளை ஆட்சிக்கு வந்த நாளிலிருந்தே மேற்கொண்டு வருகிறது பிரதமர் நரேந்திர மோடி தலைமையிலான மத்திய பாஜக அரசு. அதன் ஒரு பகுதியாக குடியரசுத் தலைவர் மற்றும் மத்திய அமைச்சர்கள் இந்தியில் பேசவோ எழுதவோ தெரிந்திருந்தால் தங்களது உரையையும் அறிக்கையையும் இந்தியில்தான் கொடுக்க வேண்டும் என்கிற நாடாளுமன்ற குழுவின் பரிந்துரைக்கு குடியரசுத் தலைவரின் ஒப்புதல் பெறப்பட்டுள்ளது. விமான நிலைய அறிவிப்புகள், பத்திரிகை செய்திகள், விளம்பரங்கள் என பலவற்றிலும் இந்தியை பரவச் செய்யும் அம்சங்களுக்கும் குடியரசுத் தலைவர் ஒப்புதல் அளித்திருப்பதுடன் சிபிஎஸ்இ பள்ளிகளில் இந்தி மொழி கட்டாயம் என்ற நிலையும் உருவாக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. இப்போது இந்தியாவின் உயர்ந்த ஜனநாயக அமைப்பான நாடாளுமன்றம் தொடங்கி நாட்டின் எதிர்கால தலைமுறையை வளர்த்தெடுக்கும் பள்ளிகள் வரை இந்தி மொழியை திணிப்பதற்கு குடியரசுத் தலைவரின் ஒப்புதலை பெற்றிருப்பது இந்தியாவில் வாழும் பிறமொழி பேசும் மக்களுக்கு செய்கின்ற வஞ்சக செயலாகும்.
So now let's take a look at what is it that the government plans to do. Hindi will be made compulsory up to class 10th in schools. Recommendations of a parliamentary panel headed by P. Chindambaram. People who speak and read Hindi should be speaking in Hindi at public functions. Usage of Hindi for public announcements as well. Now the government has meanwhile defended its move. Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu has said that the government is not trying to enforce a language on anyone and that some people are playing mere politics over the issue. Listen in to what he said.
No force at all. There is a three-language formula. Learn your mother tongue, Tamil, learn English, learn Hindi. Three-language formula. That is the policy. Nothing, no force at all. They are trying to political controversies unnecessary to create some sort of a regional feeling and then take advantage.
Let's open this up and take a look step by step at what this proposal really means for the country. We have Congress spokesperson Mohammad Salman Khan joining us in the studio here. We also have Gopal Krishna Agarwal, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us, along with Chief Domestic Correspondent of WION, Kartikesh Sharma. Coming to you first, Mr. Agarwal, what is it that the government is proposing, if you can help our viewers understand, and why is this proposal being brought in?
No, actually, this is a language. The Constitution says that everybody has a right to propagate his language, culture, and script. Under that, because the large population, there has to be a language for communication between the people. So, therefore, this policy is there, and as Venkaiah Naidu has very clearly said that it will not be imposed, but there has to be a language which can integrate the nation. Wherever nations are there has to be a common language, there has to be a language of communication. Under that policy, that Constitution also says that ultimately we have to move towards a language where we have a communication language, one language. So this is by choice and this is being implemented.
But is this being implemented by choice? I want Mohammad Salman Khan of the Congress to come in here. Why is this problematic? And I'll just then take that question to Kartikesh Sharma.
Officially, the Article 343 of the Constitution says that Hindi is the official language of the country. Article 351 says that the government has to issue directives for the promotion of Hindi language. So, as per the Constitution, Hindi is the official language, and we must all do promotion and take steps for the promotion of Hindi language. But India is a country with diverse culture, and we always celebrate unity in diversity. People from diverse cultures, religions, linguistic differences. People are living here with harmony. So therefore, they have different languages that should also be respected. Like Mr. Stalin has said yesterday also, and before that also, yes, when highways were marked with Hindi language in Tamil Nadu, he has said that don't impose Hindi on us, and otherwise we'll do an agitation. So I can say that Hindi is our official language, and we must all propagate and promote the Hindi language. But but the feelings and the culture, linguistic and cultural background of different people in the country has to be respected by the government.
Karthik, let me bring you in here. It is a complicated issue, to say the least. Where does one draw the line is the question.
See, ultimately, we have to start by the fact as to how language as an instrument of interaction has defined India. The language is one tool over which the geographical entities of state were demarcated. Our states were not demarcated on the issue of ethnicity or religion.
Yes.
Our states were demarcated on the issue of linguistics. Linguistic agitation led to carving out. Now, post 1990s, the carving of the states have taken place on cultural expression. For example, Telangana, Jharkhand for tribals. But during the time of Jawaharlal Nehru, it was the anatomy of your own language spread over the geographical space, which led to a lot of agitations. The creation of the Punjabi Suba, which took place, the way other states took place. And thirdly, which is the foundation of this debate, and the so many, I would say, leaders are now speaking about it, rests on the fact that Dravidian leadership, and I think I would say simultaneously when C.N. Annadurai was alive, led to creation of politics of identity tied with the language.
Right.
That it will lead to cultural, political and literary subjugation. Now to locate this debate is Hindi the biggest regional language?
Right.
Or Hindi accepted as the national link language? Should it be forced or should it go the Bollywood model, where it freely circulates as a uniting language rather than coming as an instrument of political action, in which in this case the president has given a nod, and that is where the controversies start, because he has principally approved of it.
Alright, we also have DMK spokesperson Mr. Saravanan joining us on the broadcast. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us. As we've been discussing all along, I want the DMK's version of why this proposal is problematic.
See, our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, has issued a video statement asking the central government not to impose the Hindi language upon us. We have a long history of imposition of Hindi. You know, I want to clarify one thing. We are not against Hindi as a language. We welcome that language. If anybody wants to learn that language out of their own free will, we have no objection to that. We have this Dachin Bharat Sabha operating out from Chennai, and we have various other units. We have absolutely no problem when people want to voluntarily learn that language. We also know that learning a lot of languages improves your skills, and it is very, very welcome. But if you look at in a federal setup and in the constitutional framework, I just want to point out just one brief historical fact. During the Constituent Assembly debate, the issue of language was a very, very thorny issue, and it almost took 3 years to find out. But everybody opposed Hindi as a national language, and Hindi is only an official language, as like 22 other languages. And they also said that there will be 2 linked languages, English and Hindi, and we preferred English as a linked language because it gives a leveling platform. See, definitely people who have Hindi as their mother tongue will be more equipped than the others. So we thought we wanted English. Our leader, Fairer Anna, he wanted English to be the linked language so that the Hindi-speaking population, the Tamil-speaking population, the Telugu-speaking population, the Malayalam-speaking population, everybody will have a level playing field.
Right.
That is why we English. So now what happens is you are trying to impose. We had the discussion, we had one of the speakers speak about Article 351. Yes, we are all aware of that, which says promote Hindi. We don't have any problem when you promote that language, but in the guise of promotion,
right,
you cannot put that language down our throats, shove it down our throats. Now, when you're making it compulsory, it means you are imposing it upon us. And we are opposed to this 3-language formula. 3-language formula, you are giving importance again to Hindi.
Right, let me just quickly take that across to Mr. Agarwal. Violating the constitutional right of non-Hindi speaking citizens, that in a way is the summary of the charge being levied by the DMK. How do you respond?
No, Article 29 and 30 of the Constitution specifically mention that it is the responsibility of the government to protect the culture, script and language.
Sure.
And the state is the level at which the identity of language will be done. So government is moving on this, and we have in schedule 14 all the languages are there which have to be protected.
Why Hindi and
schedule
not
8,
English is the argument coming in?
The question is, it is an official language. The government has the responsibility to promote Hindi. It is a language of communication. So it's a three language formula that the government is trying to.
Let me allow Karthik Sharma to come in here.
Okay, now you see the debate becomes interesting because you know we when we talk about languages, we talk about recognized official languages.
Yes. If
you look at the debate of the Constituent Assembly, at one point of time, Ambedkar wanted Sanskrit to be made the national language, but the problem is not that, Molly. The problem lies in the fact that the objection of Hindi to become the official language. Now, just to give you the facts here, Hindi became India's sole official language on January 26, 1965.
Yes.
1965. There was an agitation which took place. Then Centre introduced the Official Languages Amendment Bill in 1969 to ensure that English continued as a linked language. So the problem actually also stems from the freedom struggle itself.
Right.
Now, if you look at the way Muslim League and Congress interacted with each other, there was a great emphasis on Muslim League on Urdu being the linked language.
Right.
The Congress party in itself felt that the Hindi and Devanagari constitutes a larger basis for North Indian politicians and it can unite India, because at that point of time, everything was being thought from what can unite India. Can Khadi as a symbol unite India? Can language as a speech unite India? So it was all about uniting India. But the irony of life is that sometimes the symbols to unite become divisive in nature.
But what makes me really intrigued to know what the Congress's contention here also is, how can Hindi be a language that divides people? And that's something that your party has been arguing for the longest time.
No, we are not arguing this. We are saying that Hindi is the official language as per the constitution. But if there are portions, there are regions in the country like states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Gujarat, Assam, there are different states which have different linguistic way to communicate, then they must be respected. And even as per the constitution, I have just gone through Article 355,
yes,
which says official language or languages of a state. It says that the mode of communication should be Hindi or any state language, which has to be passed by a state legislature. So the central government cannot force its language on a state where states wants a different language as per the constitution.
Nobody is forcing the language. It is
they are
only
opposing. I am also with you on this. I am also with you on this. I am saying you have to be a bit flexible and liberal so that you can accommodate them and they can accommodate you.
Mr. Saravanan wants to come in here. Mr. Saravanan, yes, I'll just come back to Mr. Agarwal. Mr. Saravanan, go ahead.
Yeah, see, this whole thing about Article 351, see, there is no national language. We have only official languages. That is it. And if you look at the history, the only reason the Madras presidency wanted to join the Indian Union is because they said there will be no national languages. There will be only official languages.
Yes.
And you all in 65 how there was this anti-India hesitation, and the then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru gave an assurance that only Hindi and English will be the linked languages and Hindi will not be the national language. That apart, see, Hindi is only the first among equals because of the constitutional importance given to it. Can be only the first among equals and it can never replace the language. And we all know the Indian states are divided on the basis of linguistics, on the basis of the language they speak. So there is a sub-national...
All right, you made your point. You made your point, Mr. Agarwal. I would really want you to respond to that.
No, actually, the question is, no, it is not a one language formula that the government is imposing. First thing we should understand, it's a three language formula.
But the government is imposing something.
Yeah, the thing is, it was recommended by the standing committee of the parliament. Then finally, which Chidambaram was the chairman. Yeah. So, it has been accorded by the president.
Yes.
And it's a responsibility of government to promote Hindi. So it is under that. It is because of the politicizing the issue that the problem some of the states are doing. Ultimately, there is no imposition of that the regional language. Hindi will be imposed in consonance in defiance to local language. One point I would like to mention is, if you go along the international community, English is a language of communication and it has created a lot of wealth to the British.
Sure.
Hindi is spoken by much more larger percentage of people who are using Hindi. So Hindi should be promoted.
But then again, the debate goes back to official languages and linked languages. Kartiki, go ahead.
See, there are two things there. One, there's already a judgment by the Gujarat High Court. There was a PIL filed last year. The Gujarat High Court, and I'll name Division Bench of Chief Justice J. Mukhopadhyay, Justice A.S. Dave, they rejected the public interest litigation by one gentleman called Suresh Kacharia.
Right.
One, the Gujarat High Court said Hindi is not the national language. There is no national language status.
Yes,
Second, the Gujarat High Court went on to say that it is the official language. Now, we must look at the stemming of the controversy. Now, sometimes, you have a catch-22 situation. It's like this, Molly. Who will say that Hindi should not be promoted?
Yes.
Someone who wants to be relevant in the heart of North Indian politics will say that Hindi should not be given the status which it accords, because Hindi in itself as a language came into existence during freedom struggle.
Right.
If you look at the records of when Britishers were interacting with the political authorities in India, it was Persian and Urdu. So Hindi as a language evolved during the triangular interaction between the Indian elites, the political old aristocracy, and the British.
Right.
So when we talk about this language, we have to understand the history, and finally the most important of all, there is a you have other languages which are perhaps slightly older than Hindi.
Sure.
And they should be accepted, which is Tamil. And that is why, you have a lot of protests from there. If you look at Sangam literature,
Sure,
it
but
predates.
the immediate question, Kartikeya, again is, where is the need to impose any language at all then?
And who is imposing?
See,
No.
no one
Imposing is definitely a problematic word here, but
Yeah.
go ahead, Kartikeya.
No one is imposing. My point is that no one takes the bull by the horn in the political class.
Right.
Now, President, there's a principle not to this, you see. There's a principle not to this. No one is saying that Hindi should not be respected. Everyone says that Hindi should be respected. The problem comes when you say, let everything be promoted in Hindi. If the President of India knows Hindi, then his lecture or the Abhibhashan, as it is called
Yes,
in
it
Hindi,
has been.
should be in Hindi.
Does the Congress
problem
view
lies
this
there.
But the thing
as,
is-
the Congress view this as imposition?
My question to BJP is why for past 3 years people are opposing things which are being imposed on them. I'm not talking about Hindi. I am a supporter of Hindi. My party is a supporter of promotion of Hindi.
Sure.
I am saying why BJP is telling people what to eat, what not to eat, what to wear, what not to wear, where to sit, where not to sit. With
That
whom
becomes
you have
a
to
larger
mingle,
debate
you
here.
cannot
Yeah,
sit.
anything.
Why everyone is opposing you? Why are you imposing everything? Why are you telling people to bath in this way? Why are you telling people to sleep in this way? This has to be answered by the
No,
BJP.
it is too simplifying the complex
No, this has been
issues.
happening. This has
The
been
thing is, you should ask Chidambaram then, why that standing committee give this recommendation. Ultimately, the government has to act on something. And once you act on an issue, then there is a controversy. What is the first step? It is only saying that it will be taught compulsorily taught in CBSE
Okay.
And schools.
Mr.
So what is
Sarvanan
the
also
and
wants to
government
come in
schools-
here. Go ahead, Mr. Sarvanan.
Yeah. See, it's not about Mr. P. Chidambaram, or Mr. P. Chidambaram does not hold a brief for the entire state of Tamil Nadu. Just because he has chaired a meeting and which has approved all that doesn't mean that it has the stamp of all the entire population of the Tamil-speaking citizens. See, that is one aspect. The other aspect is, when you force something on us, when you make something compulsory, it means you are imposing it upon us. Yes, you promote Hindi, have so many, as much as Hindi chambers of commerce, Dakshin Bharat Hindi Sabhas, you have give grants to promote that language. We have no objections to that. But you are making something compulsory. You do this way, you do this that way, then it becomes imposition. That is what we are opposed to. That is one aspect. The other aspect is that our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, has raised another pertinent issue. See, all the languages are official languages. In the 22 languages are there, which is finding place in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. Why you are naming every scheme of the central government only in Hindi? Why don't you use any other language? Why don't you use Bengali? Why don't you use Marathi, Gujarati? Why are you not using that? It means you want to prefer one language over the others. We are in a pluralistic society. A pluralistic society is possible only when you give importance to the sentiments of other people also. We also know that language is the cultural identity of the people in the state of India, so in the country. So why are you not doing that? When you're not doing that and keep making things mandatory, it gives a suspicion that you are trying to impose Hindi upon us in an indirect way.
Let me allow Mr. Agarwal to respond to that. Let me allow him to just...
In this logic, why West Bengal people will use Tamil language then? Or they will say ki you use Tamil, you use Bengali. So this is not the way the country functions.
Right.
The constitution has specifically said those regional languages have to be promoted. Those regional languages are based on those languages states have been carved out. Their protection and promotion is guaranteed under Constitution Article 29 and 30.
So
all things are being done, and this is a 3-language formula. Ultimately, the communication language, now English has become a communication language, and government is using, everybody is using. So
but sir, let's look at the facts.
With Hindi?
Yeah.
Whether do you accept that Hindi is being used by the large sections of population of the country? So then what is the problem if it is not diverting the resources from regional languages to Hindi? It's a separate issue. It should be taken.
You have been charged, sir, and not just by one party, of imposing, that's the word that they are using, not me, imposing Hindi in airport announcements, in the media, in advertisements, in schools now. So the larger debate is that where will this stop? In what sphere would you allow the matter of choice to prevail?
Though it will be a 3-language formula, as Venkaiah Naidu ji has said, the government is using 3-language formula in every airport, any signage everywhere, a regional language, Hindi and English. These 3 are used, whether it is in Punjab, in Bengal, Tamil, any state where Urdu is being used in Uttar Pradesh. So this is it's a diversity of the nation, but we need to promote one language so that a communication is there. There is no imposition, it's a teaching and promoting.
Karthike first and then Mr. Sarvana.
It is here that the problem is. For
Yes.
example, in 1970s, you look at the debates or you look at the cuttings of the newspapers, the statements made by Raj Narayan, the socialist leader, and the reports coming from M.G. Ramachandran on this similar issue, because he gave all the replies in Lok Sabha in Hindi, whereas you had the whole concept of 2-language policy. Or if you look at the debates where Sarvapalli or Rajaji, as better known as Rajaji, talking about English as the link language, the issue boils down to, should an indigenous language be the language which unites this country,
right,
like French, Chinese, Japanese,
right,
Polish, Latin, English? Or should we rely on English as a language to unite India, because the elites all over the states have acquired English as a working language?
All right.
It is in this dichotomy the debate lies, because ultimately then every tradition would compete. People can say that Malayalam, Tamil and 2 other South Indian languages constitute 24% of the non-Devanagari or non-Hindi speaking audience.
Point taken. We are completely running out of time here. Let me first allow Mr. Sarvanan to come in here. He's been urging to come in for a while now. Go ahead.
Yeah. See, the issue here is, again, would be any other language which is not my mother tongue. My mother tongue is Tamil. So any other language, let it be Hindi, let it be English, French, Chinese, Mandarin, Japanese, any other language is an alien language to me. So I will not be acceptable to have any other language to control me or to be imposed upon me. That is one aspect. See, the other aspect is that only because the majority of the people speak one language, we don't want that to be used as a tool of oppression, or that to be tool as a majoritarianism. Our leader, Peraringer Anna, famously spoke in the parliament. Just because so many people speak that language doesn't mean that it should become the first among the principal language. He cited the example of the crows. He said we have a lot of crows in the country. Numerical number of crows are larger. Does it mean that it becomes the national bird of the country? No. The important, yes, the only thing is, allow us to be confident, or leave the choice to us, and let India be a pluralistic society. Don't try to homogenize the country, which will have disastrous consequences.
I will take that as your closing remarks, Mr. Khan and Mr. Agarwal, before we wrap up.
I can say that we support Hindi being promoted. As per the constitution, it has to be promoted, but we have a subject to the condition. It's not imposed on any linguistic region or a state. It has to be promoted in a phased manner where people are opposing it. So it has to be promoted in a phased manner.
Right.
Otherwise, we are in support of promotion of
All right, that's what the
No,
Congress
we
stands.
have come out of 70 years of independence. Ultimately, promotion and impositions are quite different. And how do you promote? You promote by teaching, making more things available in the language. This is a part of the promotion. No language, Hindi is being imposed on anybody. We are moving ahead with 3-language policy, and regional languages will have all the resources and support from the government, but they are limited to the states. Therefore, they have to understand the limitation of each reach of the language. So, we have to move for a 3-language policy. That's no imposition is being done.
All right, language war will certainly continue over the next few weeks, to say the least. With that, we're completely out of time. Thanking all our guests for joining us on this very special broadcast. Mr. Saravanan, Mr. Khan, Mr. Agrawal and Kartiki Sharma. With that, it's a wrap on this edition. Stay with us. Lots more in store for you on the other side of a very short break.